for you so that you understand the easiest way possible, because I don't want you to read or listen to any other news for you to grasp the whole situation. Israel, back in the month of February, where it is almost March. Today is 20th of February. Excuse me. You have to excuse my hiccups. They sent high officials, Israel, to United States. And these officials, they met U.S. congressional representatives multiple times, multiple locations, in multiple different locations, and on quote-unquote Israeli white paper. Now, the source that mentioned that the proposal was presented to the U.S. officials, hiring officials, on a white paper, it basically means that the matter for Israel is very, very dire. It is very, very important, and it is reaching to a point where the U.S. Congress, the state, the head of state, with all the secretaries and all that, cannot anymore ignore this matter. It is so important. This is what it basically means, what I understand when it said that Israel wrote those proposals in white paper. They met these people, the U.S. officials, on multiple occasions, and they agreed to meet again over this issue. Now, this issue, I'll mention to you what issue I'm talking about in a second. This issue that Israel raised to U.S. is so important, and it was so classified, if you want to call it classified, that nobody knows anything about what really went on in actuality, in terms of the details, the nitty-gritty of it. People know what was the proposal about, but they did not know the details. In fact, they said, the sources, the three sources who confirmed this news, they said, do not mention our name. From U.S. officials, representative, they said, do not mention our name because this matter is so important. Because if this goes wrong, if Israel loses over this, then they fear that they are going to see their end very, very soon. Now, what really happened? Before I tell you what really happened, again, consider subscribing to my channel. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. Hit the like because it helps with my algorithm. Subscribe, that helps too. Leave a comment too. Now, before I mention to you what kind of proposal Israel made to US, to Donald Trump, I want you to take a look at this particular video from Donald Trump himself. Take a listen.
Well, you know, we had 5,000 troops along the border, and I asked a couple of generals, so we have an army of 250,000 in Syria, and you had an army of 400,000. They have many more people than that. Turkey is a major force, by the way, and Erdogan is somebody I got along with great, but he has a major military force, and his has not been worn out with war. It hasn't been worn out with all of the other things. I mean, he's built a very strong, powerful army. And so we have 5,000 soldiers in between a 5 million person army and a 250,000 person army. And I asked the general, what do you think of that situation? He said, they'll be wiped out immediately. And I moved them out and I took a lot of heat. And you know what happened? Nothing. I saved a lot of lives. Now we have 900. They put some back, but 900, if you're talking about two, now one of the sides has been essentially wiped out, but nobody knows who the other side is. But I do. You know who it is? Turkey. Okay? Turkey's the one behind it. He's a very smart guy. They've wanted it for thousands of years, and he got it. And those people that went in are controlled by Turkey. And that's okay. It's another way to fight. But no, I don't think that I want to have our soldiers killed. But I don't think that will happen now anyway because the one side's been decimated.
Mr. President, I want to ask you a question about the
Do you think
drones.
the drones concerned about more unrest in that region, or do you think it will calm?
Well, nobody knows what the final outcome is going to be in the region. You know, nobody knows who really the final. I believe it's Turkey, and I think Turkey is very smart. He's a very smart guy, and he's very tough. But Turkey did an unfriendly takeover.
Turkey did an unfriendly takeover. Now, I do not want to spend too much time on Turkey because I know a lot of you have a problem with Erdogan, and I get it. And I agree with you guys that he was all talk, no action. Now, let's take a look a little bit what the Israeli foreign minister, his name is Gideon Sar, he said. Take a look. Or actually take a listen. He said earlier this month, in February, that his investigation, and I actually mentioned this in a separate video, his investigation, his team has found out that Turkey's Erdogan, they are now helping Iran, and Iran is helping Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now you see the problem. This is coming directly from the Israeli foreign minister Gideon Sar. He accuses Erdogan of trying to help Hezbollah through Iran, and now they believe, the Israeli officials, they believe that Erdogan has too many cards in his hand that he can play with. He can help Iran if he wants to, because of his power, because of his influence, because of his grasp in Syria. He can help Iran. He can help any other entities. Now, here is the big news. This is the reason why I made this video, really. We know that Israel, they have destroyed a lot of these military assets and targets in Syria since HTS took over. And they gotten rid of a lot of it. But Israel, right now, they are still fearing for the worst outcome, that the government in Syria will take up arms and they are going to attack them. Now, it is again not coming from me. Don't say, oh, you don't know anything. It is not coming from me. It is coming from sources that Israel right now, they are panicking as we speak. This is why they have went to US to meet those congressional representatives, high officials, and in addition to that, they are now asking, they are begging United States to please allow, do you know which country? To allow this country to stay in Syria. Do you know which country? Israel wants Russia to be in Syria so that Erdogan will not have all of these cards in his hand that he can play with and can decide pretty much the fate of this region. And he's able to influence the way he never did. Now, I want you to take a read with me, the one I am mentioning to you, so that you know what is happening, because I don't want you to say, oh, where did you get this news from? My news is authentic. You'll not hear this from anywhere else. Take a look at this one. So, what is going on? So, Israel, let's see. Israel is lobbying, United States to keep Syria weak and decentralized, including by letting Russia keep its military bases there to counter Turkey's growing influence in the country. 4 sources familiar with the efforts say, now Turkey's often fraught ties with Israel have come under a severe strain during or after this October 7, 2023 attack. Now, the lobbying points to a concerted Israeli campaign to influence U.S. policy at a critical juncture for Syria, as the Islamists who ousted Bashar al-Assad tried to stabilize the fractured state and get Washington to lift punishing sanctions. This matter is so sensitive that even Washington, Donald Trump, did not say anything about it. We know Trump as someone who always talks. He loves to make hyperbolic statements. But when it comes to Syria and Turkey, he is largely very, very quiet. We have heard only few words from him. They are now also shutting their mouth. They're not talking. Turkey is not talking. Syria is not talking. This is becoming such a big issue and sensitive issue that the outcome of what they make decision today will have a huge, severe consequence and direct impact in the future for the region. including Saudi Arabia, including UAE, including Egypt. And this is why, guys, this is why Egypt, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, all of these countries who do not like Muslim Brotherhood, who do not like Turkey, who do not like Erdogan, they are now talking in defense of Syria. This matter has become so sensitive and it can blow up at any time that can have the consequences of even regime changes in the Middle East. All of these dictators could be gone in matter of just hours. This is how it has come to a boiling point. Now, King Abdullah, when he visited US and he came back to Jordan, do you know what he did? King Abdullah right now, he's so terrified of what can happen from Syria that he called the tribal leaders in Jordan. He called all of them. He said, come, join me. I have to say to you something. I met Donald Trump and this is the message I brought for you guys. Come. He did not want to leave any doubt in their mind. And he told them, those tribal leaders, that look, I told Donald Trump that I will not accept the refugees from Gaza. Means I will, in other words, he even went to the point where he indirectly said, he didn't say directly, that he said indirectly, I will even go to war with Israel if they displace Gaza. Why he would do that? It is because of Syria. It is because he fears if he does not please his tribal leaders, if he does not please his people, then people will go and fight with Muslim Brotherhood. They will coalesce together and they will say, our kings, they're corrupt, let's get rid of them. Syria will help them, Turkey will help them. This is why King Abdullah did what he did. And now Saudi Arabia, and now we have Egypt, and now we have UAE. All of these countries, especially these three countries, UAE, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, they are completely 100% anti-Muslim Brotherhood. In other words, Ahmad al-Shara, the Syrian government. And even they are now voicing their concern and they're protesting. They're making it clear out loud. Saudi Arabia just said yesterday, we will not accept any more attack on Syria, coming directly from Saudi Arabia, which is unprecedented. And now Israel is lobbying US. Israel is going to Russia. Please help us, because if Erdogan has all the cards in his hand, that means the Islamists have all the cards in their hands, and that means the end of us. We are seeing the end of us. So please help us, help us. This is, guys, maybe you are saying, oh, you might say, well, you are just exaggerating. You might say that. I don't mind. But what is true is true. You'll find out. You'll find out. Thank you guys for your comments. I'll see you in the next video.